Hi, everybody, and welcome to Epignosis. As you know, my name is Trey, and today we'll be looking at three reasons why a lot of people remain poor. So let's get right into it. So, reason number one is the presence of Jesus. So, as a Christian, it is essential that we have a certain understanding of who Jesus is to us and what his presence does for us in our daily lives. The presence of Jesus brings abundance, it brings joy, it brings peace, it brings so many wonderful things that the Bible lets us know of. So I'm going to read one quick example from John chapter 21, verse 3. So Simon Peter said, I am going fishing. This is the New Living Translation. So Simon Peter says, I'm going fishing. We'll come too, they all said. So they went out in the boat, but they caught nothing all night. At dawn, Jesus was standing on the beach, but the disciples couldn't see who he was. He called out, Fellows, have you caught any fish? No, they replied. Then he said, Throw out your net on the right hand side of the boat, and you'll get some. So they did, and they couldn't haul in the net because there were so many fish in it. Now, this is a story of people who have been toiling all night. They've been fishing, and they are not people who are now starting the fishing, business or whatever. They are people who are experienced. They are experienced fishermen, and they were, for some weird reason, not able to find any fish until Jesus showed up. Now, the moment Jesus showed up, he just gave a simple instruction: throw the net to the right side. They did, and they got the fishes. So in our daily lives, praying, seeking the mind of Jesus, praying and asking God, what next? What should I do after this? What is my next step? What do you want me to do next? It's one of the most important things we can do, because it keeps us on the right path. It keeps us on a path where Jesus can have a direct influence over our lives and lead us in the right way. So, point number two is to work. A lot of Christians, because of point number one, a lot of Christians, they trade the how do I put it? They pray and then leave it. It's not enough for you to just pray and sit down. Because even when you're going on evangelism or something, when you're going to preach to people, you pray. You pray in your house, Father, I'm stepping out, I'm going to share your good news with so many people. But when you are done praying that prayer, you don't sit down and expect the people to hear the good news. You still have to get up and go. You get it? So when you pray for a job, you still have to apply. When you pray for a promotion, you have to be good at your workplace. You have to be somebody who deserves a promotion. You get it? A lot of people don't. They feel like because I have God, I can be mediocre about everything and still get what I want. But it's not so. Even so, I want to read something very quickly. It's in First Thessalonians chapter 11. First Thessalonians chapter 5. Sorry, verse 11, and it says, "And that ye study to be quiet and to do your own business, and to work with your own hands, as we have commanded you, that you may walk honestly towards them that are without, and that ye may have lack of nothing." So there is a way to have lack of nothing, and that is if you do something with your hands. It can be your job, it can be, but make sure you are doing something. Don't be the Christian who prays all night and just sleeps and does nothing, because that won't benefit you in any way at all. You have to do something. God will bless what you are doing. If you don't sow, in the Bible, Jesus said that what you sow is what you're going to reap. If you don't sow anything, you won't reap anything. And that's just how it is. If you sow corn, you're going to reap corn. If you don't sow nothing, you're going to reap mud. The only thing that you reap when you don't sow is weeds, and those you can't use those for anything. So working, because the Bible never said that homies should sit down and wait and victory comes from the Lord. It says that horses and chariots are prepared for battle, but victory comes from the Lord. Victory is definitely going to come from God, but you have something to do. You have a role to play. Yeah. So point number three, and then we out of here. So point number three is don't borrow, and this is so important. Don't borrow from anybody. For don't do it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Cause again, Proverbs chapter 22 verse 7, it says, "The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender." I mean, if you ask somebody for something, you are basically like, I don't even know what word to use, but you are indebted to the person, and the person can take any of your stuff. So if, for example, if on a Monday you don't have food to eat, well, you don't have good food to eat, you just have bread or something, and instead of eating your bread, you go out and borrow $10 from a friend, and you go to KFC and get yourself something to eat on the Monday, and on the Tuesday you get yourself something to eat again. On Wednesday, if by God's grace you are able to get $7, that money doesn't belong to you because you owe somebody. You're supposed to give the person's money back. But if you manage with your bread, and you manage with your bread on Monday and Tuesday, on Wednesday when you have your $7, it's actually yours. It's actually for you. That's why Paul said that I know how to abound and how to abase. There are times that you are going to be filthy rich. There are times that you are going to be, well, not filthy rich. And you have to know how to manage yourselves in all these instances. You have to know that, well, at this point in time, I don't really have much, so let me manage what I have and trust God whilst working for better days ahead. But you can't just run through everything and then go around begging, because you go for a $10,000 loan, and within the week you get a contract that is worth $12,000. You only have $2,000 because you are actually owing somebody 10,000, and if you don't pay that money early, there's going to be interest on it. You know, it's just not something that I think we should do. You know, borrowing, nah. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. Till we meet again, which is probably next week. Bye.